All right. Do that. All right, we'll go ahead and call the Finance Committee meeting to order. Today is February 25th, 2026. It is 7 p.m. And so we will call the roll here first. Barrow,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Koppelmeyer. I am here. Okay. So let's see. So depending on what copy you have, the agenda, D should be facade grant, E should be 2026 capital budget. So if it's not that way, switch it up. That's the order we're going to go to. Okay. All right. So starting off, senior discount. So we've talked about this a lot here. So we are increasing the threshold from 225% to 250% of poverty level, and proposing increasing it from generally doubling it from 12% to 24%. Any questions or comments or thoughts?
Yeah, thank you. I'm just glad to see that we're sticking in to the income levels, the poverty levels, 225 to 250, because that's what it was originally intended for.
Okay.
Thank you.
And, yeah, I'm good with that.
All right. So if I can get a motion to make that change.
I move that we recommend to council increasing the level of income from 225 to 250% of federal poverty levels for seniors 65 and older, totally and permanently disabled, effective bills due March 2nd, 2026.
And I'll second.
All right. We'll call the roll. Barrow,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
me, yes. All right. So that is passed. Okay, item B, sewer remediation program amendments. All right. So my thoughts on this one, like we talked about a little bit last time, we could get so specific with this and it's just going to be a big old headache. But I think having the age of 25 and under, and again, if you have a permanent disability on Social Security, then that income, I don't think, should count either. Any thoughts on that?
I believe I have to abstain from this one because of our last
Well,
finance meeting. I mean,
just that topic.
yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, no,
What is
you
this?
could speak to,
That's what it was about when I was talking about my kids. So I can't.
Oh,
Yeah, so I have to abstain from this one.
I'll take up that part of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I threw my kids out. No, I didn't. My wife would still have them there if they could, if they would. We talked about a few different things Dave referred to. How many are in the household? A 25-year-old adult child, that what he makes will be counted as household income. And we really went back and forth a lot on this with our last meeting. So let's say the homeowner doesn't work, but his live-in girlfriend slash wife slash whoever does, there's an income and that property has that particular use and would have that advantage of not showing an income in the house, yet there is. So it was a lot of back and forth. So adult children of 25 and older is what we're talking about would go towards that household income.
Okay. Do you want to propose adding anything else to essentially capture the live-in significant other that may not be on the deed, but that has their mailing address there? That's the permanent residence?
Do we need to do that? Because we said household income. I'm not sure because Alan's not here to ask him that question.
Right.
I'm sorry, what was the question? If somebody's on the deed or not?
Question was if, we've already talked about having the adult children of 25 years of age and older to be counted as a part of the household income. We're talking about a live-in partner
Yeah, I don't know that.
where they would have an income versus,
Yeah, it says household income. It doesn't say marital status or who owns the
Right.
property. It says household.
so I think we would be good with that.
Right. And if for some reason we really needed the check, I mean, obviously just
Yep, we can amend it too.
whose mailing address is that property, right?
Right, correct.
Okay. So are we okay with 25 and older and adding the, excluding someone who has permanent disability on Social Security? Are we okay with adding that?
Sorry, say that again, Dave.
So somebody like adult person with disabilities who is on Social Security, obviously not contributing to the household income, even though, and again, I don't know if the Social Security income would count towards.
No, Social Security disability income is not taxable, so
Oh,
it wouldn't be on the tax
disability.
return.
Beautiful.
Disability doesn't, but regular Social Security does, correct?
Correct, up to 85%, depending on the other income.
So we could just say disability income?
Right, and again, if we have to alter it or amend it for Alan's input, I would be okay with recommending that.
All right, so 25 and older and no disability income.
Right.
All right. So since it's just two of us, you want to make a motion?
Sure. I move the recommended council the sewer remediation program amendment. Statements attesting all members over the age of 45 contribute to the household will provide their tax
25.
return.
25.
What did I say?
25.
Yeah,
45.
25. Thank you. Contributing to the household will provide their tax return and other required documentation.
All right, I will second that. We will call the roll. Barrow,
Yes?
Gonzalez,
Abstain.
and Peppelmeyer, yes. All right. All right, item C, finance policy approval. So we got a few things in here. So we had this last time. Finance Director Harkey said there was a couple small changes in the capital asset part.
No, in the purchasing policy,
Purchasing
I
policy.
sent it to our law director to review to make sure I didn't miss anything specifically regarding Chapter 103.
Okay. And do we have his recommendations back yet?
Yes, they're incorporated in the packet you have
Okay.
right now.
Gotcha, okay. Do you remember what they were briefly, just from last time?
Like I said, it was specifically with Chapter 103, just clarifying that first paragraph. I don't know, adding for the construction of public improvements. The second paragraph to add a short summary of the contract, because before I just had contract or purchase agreements.
Okay,
The over 25,000 that has be reported to council. So he found that change.
okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, they were pretty minimal.
All right. And then, so then again, all of these are basically the accounting people's, your professional organizations' recommendations?
Well, GFOA, yes. The city does have an existing purchasing policy and a capital asset policy. They were actually combined before, and that was with ordinance 2923, and then it was amended as a consent agenda item on March 18th of 24, item H. So those were combined, so I've split them off. It
Okay.
makes more sense to split the policies. So those were in existence, and yes, certainly GFOA best practices, very strongly recommended, and certainly good governance to have those in place as well. Same thing, the vehicle replacement policy, that is actually just a companion policy to our capital asset planning policy. Grant policy is a GFOA recommendation as well. It helps with budgeting, it helps to make sure everyone's on the same page as far as applying for grants. I do have to budget for the revenue and expenditure regardless of if it's fully funded by a grant or not. And then the strategic initiatives, that's also part of the requirement for the GFOA budget book. So that's the strategic initiatives that you have in your packet. It is a very quick summary. I believe the mayor wants to go in depth with creating a more robust strategic plan, but I'm just asking that the committee consider this for the purposes of the budget book, and then to help align our capital purchases with our strategic plans that are outlined there, the strategic initiatives.
Okay. any questions or comments?
I do. It might be a typo or just I'm not understanding it. On the second page at the bottom, under appropriations, contract authority, change orders, it's highlighted in yellow. The city administrator, department directors, or mayor, when the city administrator is unavailable, shall be authorized to execute and enter into contracts, leases, so on and so forth. Should it say if the city administrator isn't present, department directors or mayor?
It says, I believe this is the exact verbiage that's in chapter 103. So your question is.
It
the
looks
last-
like well, it
When-
says the city administrator, department directors, or mayor, when the city administrator is unavailable, shall be authorized.
Right. Yeah, I believe that's exact language that's in chapter 103.
Right, that's just referring to if the city administrator is not available, the mayor has that authority.
That's what I was wondering, shouldn't we have put those 2 or 3 words in the beginning of that? It doesn't say if.
I would agree that the language could be clarified
It's
some.
just, to me, it's confusing.
Yeah,
Maybe
it's a
that's on my
little
mind.
wordy, but I did copy that right from the amendment that was completed in December.
Sure.
I mean, if you look at
Question.
literally, the city administrator, department directors, or mayor when the city administrator is unavailable. So it's just saying,
Okay, as long as we're all clear on that.
if, when.
To me, it's
Yeah.
a little, I'm fine with this.
Yeah.
Just wanted to bring that up. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Nope.
All right, then can I get a motion to recommend this finance policy to council?
Yeah, I'll motion to, what is the word for it?
Recommend.
Recommend, yeah, recommend, would this be, well, the purchasing policy to replace ordinance 2923 amendment on March 1824, item H. And the capital asset planning management policy replacing ordinance 230 to 2013. And the vehicle replacement policy companion policy to the capital asset policy, the grant policy, strategic initiatives to council.
We haven't talked about the grant policy yet, have we?
Not in depth, but it just provides a mechanism for evaluating as well as communicating with with the mayor, myself, and the city administrator to make sure it aligns with our capital goals, and then to make sure that I'm aware of it so I can budget properly.
But nothing changed for the public's perspective of what is agreed on and,
No, this would be grants that the city is seeking and for
Okay, thank
award.
you.
Yes, not that
Okay.
we're giving out.
I will second that motion.
All right, we'll call the roll. Farah?
Yes.
Gonzalez?
Yes.
Peppelmeyer, yes. All right. So next one, we have updates to the facade grant. So we're looking at potentially adding residential properties to be considered for the facade grants. Mr. Gonzalez and I and Mr. Hughie and Mr. Sund actually were all at the conference for newly elected council people. I forget the official name of what we went to on Saturday. Yeah.
Is that a newly elected council seminar with Ohio Municipal League?
Yes.
Yes.
And so that was really cool. That was very informative. And so one of the presenters was an attorney for a few other municipalities. And we'll preface this was in no way, shape, or form legal advice for the city of Maumee. But I actually asked him about facade grants regarding commercial and residential. And he was like, commercial, absolutely. Residential, just regarding legalities and things of that nature. So with that being said, I know Alan was not a fan of the residential part, just because, how can we say what's going to be economic development with residential properties. So I think we should probably not include that in our facade grant.
I agree with that because I was thinking about this quite a bit for the last couple of weeks, and, we all want, nice-looking homes in Maumee, and there's a lot of people who could use financial assistance for just lots of little small things, water bills, electric bills, all of that, but what I could see happening is, I am the devil's advocate here. Somebody's house needs something really, really needs a roof on it, or really needs windows or something of that nature. So we go ahead and do that as a city. That house eventually is going to get sold. Typically, it's an elderly person who's going to live in that house that doesn't have the means to fix it, which is life. So they get their house fixed, the city pays for it. It gets sold, it gets bought by whom? Another homeowner, maybe an investor. We just upgraded somebody's house for free, so it could be and I don't see how you were making a vote on that. Both being in the
Right.
real estate business.
Yeah, so
But
yeah,
I would-
there's just, and again, actually, I was talking with our finance director about possibly doing some kind of CRA to where we can encourage people to improve their homes, the whole adding porches thing in our master plan, but again, like maybe not so much giving grants to paint your house or to fix your front windows or things like that, but maybe there's some way we can incentivize people to do that if they were kind of on the fence.
I'll add that I don't mind this at all. Just putting it on it as a mechanism. I don't foresee us granting residential or anything, like in my mind, in the future, why we pump the brakes on spending right now. But to have a mechanism in place that somewhere, it's a facade grant, it would be just generally on the face, like a porch or something to beautify, just something on the property. I don't mind it as much, but we're not, as long as, we still, as council, have to vote on it. So having something in place as a guideline, anyone can apply, but it doesn't mean they're gonna get approval, but just having something in place. I don't mind this at all, just as so it's in writing. That's what I would say.
Thank you, Dave. I'm not in favor for the residential, but I had a question here. Is this still going to have our business facade grant open?
Commercial, yes.
Commercial, rather, sorry, thanks.
Yes.
Commercial, and we need to still talk about the award amount because it went from, I think it was 60 down to 10, and 10,
10's not going to go real far.
well, no, we have to pay half of it back, I believe, 50%, yeah. Grant reimburses up to 50%, so I'd like just to recommend to council that we take another visit at that, another look at that, and maybe, I'm not sure if it should go back to finance, I guess. But, yeah, I just wanted to keep it. I think for the businesses, it's important, and I have a problem with residential.
I'm sorry, the intention was for this to replace the facade grant program, the commercial portion as well.
Right, so commercial would still be in the new facade grant program. So commercial's still,
That was the
Yes.
intention, and as I mentioned before, I'd be happy to add a table that indicates the,
I'm loud enough, you don't need me to go through this.
nah, trust me, I tried to watch one time, I couldn't hear.
But Paula, people at home can't enjoy your voice.
sorry, can I just finish my
Yes,
sentence there?
yes.
So I can add a table that indicates the economic, the impact of the improvement, the dollar amount of the improvement, and what that impact would be in terms of property taxes, as well as new jobs and what that total payroll would be, and what that would mean in terms of income tax. So that's what I would like to add to the grant program too, to help make, for council to make those determinations.
Thank you.
And you're talking about commercial and residential, is it, or just whatever we recommend?
It looks like we're leaning towards commercial only, but whatever you guys recommend.
Yeah.
Okay. At what, Paula Jones, Mommy, okay. At what point are we going to stop giving commercial facade grants till the city has been able to get on their feet and then go back to that program. I mean, we've got a lot of money ahead of us that's going to have to be spent. And I'm looking at, we need to look at where we put our budget as far as taking care of the city problems that would include the residents versus making a building look pretty. So that's my question. Thank you.
Thank you.
So to answer your question, with this, there are a lot more guardrails on the program. Before, it was just if you made a request, the blank check for $60,000 was essentially written.
Was
So-
approval of council, right?
Yes. So, well, it was even approved without council for
Yeah,
a couple. So with this one, you can apply till the cows come home, but it's going to go to council for approval before any funds would be issued. And again, yes, as we're going to our next topic here, the budget, yes, there's a lot of big things coming up this year for the city, and, I'd love to say that we can proverbially make it rain, but we cannot. So, okay. Yep.
Yeah, I'll add, Paula, that this is just to have something in writing that we have a updated facade grant. Doesn't mean that, the council still has to approve it. We just have something in writing and it's updated and not, that's all we're doing is updating for the most part.
Thank you.
All right. All right, so finance director, she is going to update some tables and everything. Dollar amount, we had chatted very briefly, 25,000 was a number that I kind of thought of, that we could, again, 50-50 match, not just giving. Any thoughts on that dollar amount, gents?
I think it depends on the project. And I know we had, I think, a cap at 60, but
I could create a table that kind of matches an award to the investment.
what kind of ratio? Are you coming up with, or you're not done with that yet?
Nope, I'm not, done. No, I'm just
Okay.
spitballing here.
Okay, oh, got it, okay, so we could maybe hold on that?
So, okay, so for the grant program, I would move that we strike the residential component from it and continue and table this until we can get the tables.
Okay, yep, I'll work on that.
Can you also consider the previous, facade grant as it is now, the payment is, I think, $200 a month? Or is that what it is, for 5
It
years?
depends, it's either 100, 150, or 200.
So if it was 60,000 that they took, it's $200 a month for 5 years,
Yes,
and then forgiven.
yes.
So is there,
I
I mean,
would-
that is $18,000 out of 60, so we're losing, essentially $42,000. I get it, it's an investment from the city, but if the payable was more than that, or a percentage, I don't know,
Well, I think by maybe lowering the grant amount, you could solve that.
and still keep it at the 200,
Whatever council.
or whatever the max would
Maybe
be.
some, excuse me, I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Maybe a couple of choices would be good, as far as the payback scale.
Yeah,
and so-
right, it's a little cumbersome right now. We have 4 facade grants in repayment. I was able to set them up through automatic withdrawal with the bank, rather than them writing us a check for $100 for the next 60 months, or us billing them. So I don't know if it's required to have a payment, especially if the grant amount is lowered. I think there could be other parameters, other guardrails, they maintain the property for so many years, or they stay within the city, or they keep the business open, something
Yeah.
like that.
So if they sell in a year, then they have to pay back the full amount.
Yeah, I would like to see something like that, yeah.
Since this is being pushed off again, I would recommend that everybody look up some of the other municipalities' facade grants. For example, Toledo's is 45, Tiffin's is 10, Youngstown is also, I believe, 10, but just to get an idea. But the bigger thing that I wanted to mention is making it more efficient. If we're giving a grant, do we need a loan repayment? Or do we just have parameters set in place? And secondly, the rubric, I think, is the most important part, because a any sort of grant that we give to a commercial business in the name of economic development must pay dividends, right? There should be a return on that investment. So as we look at our rubrics and we look at our tables, I would like to see a way that shows either an increase in income tax, i.e. increase in payroll, or an increase in potentially property tax, so that it can show that we're not just giving away money for free. There is something to be said to preserve the historic buildings and to preserve the character of the city. That is something that should also be maintained and be careful. But at the end of the day, if we're giving out that money, I'd like to see council to recommend an amount for appropriations, so that it's not, like you mentioned, just anybody who applies, a rubric and an impact report that shows what those returns on investments and economic impact would be. Now, if we're going to lower that amount, it's not going to matter as much, right? Because $10,000 or $20,000 in the grand scheme of a commercial building and a commercial business doesn't necessarily mean a whole lot in the terms of what it could be. But there should be a reason that we're doing this, whether it's to preserve the character, whether of the neighborhood, or to create an economic impact. There should be a reason behind why we're doing these facade grants. To be honest, I'm for them. I think it's a good way to improve things and bring new businesses in. I just want there to be some guidelines onto why we're doing it, how much we're giving away per year. I would suggest that we get that tied up quickly, preferably by the next finance meeting, because I know that people want to apply and want to keep moving. But I would like to not see it tabled again at the next one.
All right.
Any thoughts?
So we have the one rubric, but I think that was including the residential stuff. So we'll probably have to need to revamp that, correct?
Yes, and I didn't include the table in the original one because the dollar amount had reduced so much. But like the mayor said, there has to be a dividend paid, right, with facade grants. So I can modify that. And as I mentioned at the last meeting too, the scoring rubrics, is just a starting point, like Isaiah just said. The council or committee can choose to focus on whatever they would like to as far as scoring in the rubrics, but the template's here, and then I can continue to modify it based on your recommendations too.
All right. So, any other recommendations besides limiting it to commercial?
No, I like your motion.
Okay. All right.
I would second your motion.
All right.
But we're still gonna,
20 minutes later.
we're still gonna table till the next, well, our next meeting's what, next?
So next Wednesday is our next
Yeah.
regularly scheduled.
So we can get figured out with Jennifer getting us the stuff back, and we can get it
Yep.
figured out by then.
All right. So we will do that, and then let's all get with Jennifer individually to give our 2 cents on the rubrics and what to focus on, things like that. Yep. All right. Last part, 2026 capital budget. Let's go. Okay.
I'm glad you're as excited as I am about
I think
it.
we had to vote to
It was
table that, Dave.
it was dripping with sarcasm. Okay, so
Excuse me. We have to vote to
Oh.
table.
okay, vote to table. All right, we'll call the roll. Thanks, Mayor.
Yes.
Farrell,
Yes.
Gonzalez,
Yes.
Peppelmeyer. Yes. Okay. Thanks. Okay. So capital budgets. I've spent several hours in the last week talking to people, looking at things. So I've talked to Chief Lobachevsky a lot about the fire capital. I talked to Matt Miles about the sewer building. So he could not be here tonight, but he would definitely like to kind of give a little presentation of what he has come up with regarding why the building, why it's $8.8 million. But yes, so he would like to talk to us before we make any formal recommendations on that. Okay. So just kind of going down the list from the most expensive down. Next one was the Graham Ditch. And so refresh me on that. I know that's been planned and needed, but what exactly?
That's covered
Well,
by,
I actually have it, I can't see it,
Oh.
but it is over here somewhere.
Oh, there's the fanciness.
Help me out. Where's the streets?
to the right.
Thank you. Oh, well, I didn't know it was.
Oh, that's right. I totally dropped the ball, Jennifer. Sorry. We're going to do a
No.
presentation on the cool OpenGov.
No, that's
website.
okay. So I actually do have the story built for the Graham Ditch. This is part of the enclosure of the Graham Ditch, which is located, as it says all here, which it won't scroll down any
There you
further.
go.
Located between Arrowhead and Longbow intersection and 20A, and it's enclosing that ditch with the long-term plan of extending Arrowhead Road.
On that. Oh, who's got it? You've got it?
Yeah, he's got it.
Did you do Control Plus a couple times?
Oh, thank you.
Blow it up.
So, but it is funded by Columbia Gas,
Oh, okay.
which it says it right above the chief's head. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you. So, yes, so it's the background of the project, the funding, the cost, which, again, I have to budget for it, even though Columbia Gas has given us a deposit so far. And then the timeline. And then this is the area here. So this right
Okay.
here is Longbow and Arrowhead intersection. No, I lied. It's down here somewhere. Wait, was that good, Matt? Is that good? Okay, right
Yeah.
there is the intersection. This is the ditch, which will eventually be an extension of Arrowhead down here to 20A. And this is 20A and the
Okay.
new interchange.
And please don't pay attention to the roundabout. That's not an option.
All right, this is very preliminary. I stole this picture.
So is Columbia paying the entire 1.77?
They've given us, 1.8 last year, and then they still, there's another deposit they'll make.
Right.
So we have to budget this, but essentially that should not have to be paid.
It's fully funded by Columbia Gas.
Right.
Well, that's kind of cool. Okay. All right. Next one was the Dussel Water Tower repairs. So this is coming out of water capital.
Yes, this is water capital. This is needed. There's actually two water towers on the capital plan, Dussel and Illinois. Both of them are in need of painting. Dussel is interior and exterior. No, yes. It is also an EPA requirement too, and we need to get this done quickly. So
Okay.
yes, this will
Right.
be supported by the water user fees.
Okay. And so essentially, we have the money for that.
Yes, we do.
How much was that one? Because I don't see it on
Here's
on
that
that guy. I only see the Illinois.
Okay, let me see.
1.339
No. Let me go back to-
and some change.
Hang on a second.
We both not be next.
No, I can
No,
get in. I
it's
just-
way up.
hang on.
Here, I got it. It is. There we go.
Yeah, the Dussels.
1.339,200 is the entire cost.
Yes,
That's for Dussel, and then Illinois is 1.574.
right, and those
Yeah,
are,
and that's
those are
gonna be next year, right?
estimates.
Yeah.
Those are estimates, it was based on actually a grant that we had applied for that we did not get. So those numbers may change, but those are good estimates right now.
Okay. So essentially, we should be funded for that. Okay.
Yes, through the water users fees.
Okay. All right, so next one, we have from the fire department, we have a fire engine pumper. And so there's a lot of possibilities with this one. So Chief Lobachevsky, do you want to explain anything for the public? Okay. Yes, very much.
Those are all your words on the screen, too.
Exactly. So Our ask for 2026 is a new fire engine slash pumper. The fire engine pumper is our main workhorse of the fire department. Our current fire engine that we use was purchased back in 2000, actually purchased in 2000, probably 2 or 3, and was delivered in 2004 at the time. So I think it took about a year to, under a year to build, on 2003. So, as you know, and do the math, it's been 22 years or so for that engine to be in service. And over time, especially here in the last few years, that fire truck has definitely seen a lot of wear and tear and has really increased our maintenance costs substantially. So I've put some facts up there just in the last, it was out of service for over 8 weeks just in 2025. We have had service interruptions on scenes. Most recently, a house fire within the past month or so, it had a failure. So luckily, we had other trucks there to take over, but that was just a case of a maintenance issue. It wasn't anything life-threatening at the time, but it definitely caused us some headaches on the scene, and it was out of service for a couple days after that. Being 22 years old, we follow NFPA. NFPA is the National Fire Protection Association, and they set the standards for fire departments throughout Canada and the United States and other countries. There are specific specifications that trucks have to meet and safety standards, and that's with all of our equipment, whether it's an air pack or a fire truck. Our apparatus no longer meets the standards for that. The NFPA lifespan for a fire pumper is around 20 years. So we've already exceeded that lifespan. We're at 22. There's other things with efficiency and firefighter safety requirements and road safety in addition. So unfortunately, like everything in the world, the cost has gone up substantially over the past couple of years. And, you know, whether it's a bulldozer or a garbage truck or a fire truck, there's been a lot of price increases, and they continue to increase, as we all are aware. And there's no difference for fire trucks. Right now, this pumper is estimated to cost us around $1.3 million. With the current market pricing and the industry specs, even more frustrating are lead times. We're seeing anywhere from at least 18 to 24 months. If it's a fully customizable truck, it can be up to 4 years. And our neighboring departments can attest to that. There's some departments that have been waiting over 3 years for fire trucks to get delivered. So the funding we're asking for is obviously to do a timely procurement and delivery of it. And then once it's delivered, we would need some time to get it back in service and get some customization, minor customization tools and whatnot put on it. So that cost is really just for the pumper itself. The majority of our tools, hose, ladders, and things like that, we're going to just take off the one truck and put on the other. We won't be buying a bunch of that yet, but we'll have to budget that out a little bit in the future years. So again, we'll be getting, like anything, something with the latest technology, latest safety, and specialization of things. So there are a couple design options there. If you see A, B, and C, we ask, at this point, we're recommending to go with what they call more of a stock unit, and that's something that the manufacturers are putting out as fast as they can. And then we do some minor customization. It's not a bunch of things. Back in the day, we were able to, hey, we're going to go bumper to bumper and make everything what we'd like and really have what we have. That's just not feasible anymore. The cost is substantially higher, as so is the build time, as you can see. So,
Okay. And right now, this is scheduled to come out of 235 Fire EMS, right?
Yeah, so that has been the practice, is to pay for the capital equipment out of the fire fund, which is really a fund.
Okay.
That makes sense.
And so where does the fire levy money come in to play?
Yeah, so that the fire fund is supported by the fire levy and then income tax. So it's about, their budget's about split 50-50 right now. Actually, for 26, we have a little over 4 million scheduled to come from the A fund to support the fire department. And it's obviously, this is a big chunk of it.
Okay.
And I just wanted to add, I believe the levy is strictly for employees, hands-on, and not capital.
It can be used for capital.
Yeah, it was used, yeah, it was very broad the way it was written, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, so we could also use the B fund, but then that would impact other departments' requests.
Sure. Okay, thank you.
All right, and then, so it sounds like there's a few options on how to procure. So we could essentially put an order in that's going to take 18 to 24 months. We pay upon receipt. We could pay for the whole thing up front and get some kind of discount, right? And then something in between where we put like a down payment and then we get some kind of smaller discount based on how much we put down, correct?
Yeah, so, well, I know we talked today, and my recommendation would be to, we'll speak with the manufacturer to kind of get a little bit more information on that and financing options and really get Jennifer's input on this as far as funding, because it could be broke out into separate budget cycles. Or is it the wish of council to go ahead and just take it all at once?
Well, it would be more of a cash flow question. It would have to be expended from this budget as far as a purchase order. But yes, it would be a cash flow question.
Yeah, they don't invoice you till you get the truck.
Right.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and our ambulance would be this kind of a similar situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So speaking of the ambulance.
Yes.
So.
So our ambulance, I don't know if we can pull that
Oh.
up real quick, sorry. So our ambulance is kind of in the same boat. Our ambulance, we have 3 ambulances, and we we always do our best to do a rotation on replacement of the ambulances. Currently, we have a 2015 model, a 2018 model, and a 2021 model. So the one we're looking to replace is a 2015. Of all of the apparatus that we have, our ambulances are definitely the workhorses. They do a lot of wear and tear. And a lot of that time is not so much mileage, it's the idle time. They spend a lot of time idling on scene, and then they spend a lot of time idling at the hospitals as we, offload patients. So this unit, number Medic 95, it's exceeded the recommended timeline, which is 10 years. So it's already at 11. This one has also been a kind of a pain in our side with some major repairs being done to it over the past years. And those costs have steadily increased. It was out of service. We were going back at least 10 to 12 weeks last year in 2025. And I've already had it out for at least over a week in January. So again, we are looking for options with this, similar to the fire truck. We're looking at a replacement cost around $350,000. And then the lead times for ambulances, just like fire trucks, are getting up there as well. We are not looking to do a customized bumper-to-bumper unit that would, all the bells and whistles and everything else, because that's going to take it up to 3 years. We don't have that much time, we feel. We want to do something that we could replace within 12 to 18 months.
Brandon, I have a question. When you get those trucks for $350,000, I remember when I first got on council,
Yeah.
it was a new truck was needed. And I can't remember, does that 350 include all the equipment that has to be put in it, or is that additional?
No, we would take the equipment off. So the heart monitor, the oxygen unit, a lot of that equipment,
It's still
medical equipment, that goes
up to date.
on.
It's
Yeah,
still
Yep, we
up to
would put
date.
that on the new unit, so we swap it out. What I will say is that something that isn't shown here is the actual stretcher system. So our stretcher system, we call the COT, that is we call that a power load system because it's automatic. So, and that system, we're going to have to probably budget for about $70,000 to put that on. So that 350 is just the truck and the box. If we
Empty box for
Yeah,
350.
so the benefit we could say would be that our value of our current ambulance, that once it's the new one's purchased in service, ready to go, and we look to offload that other one, the value of that could be we're predicting hopefully around $30,000 to $40,000. We'll see at the
And
time.
then we also have the pumper
Because-
truck. right?
I was gonna say, what about the fire truck? Is there
Good
any
question
value
on the
in that?
fire truck. That's a really hard number to get right now, but I'm being told it's about the same. It's not really, you'd be surprised it's that low, but yeah.
I think, I'm trying to remember if our last ambulance we got rid of, if we gave it to a city who wouldn't have had the funds.
We did sell one of them.
Did we sell
Yeah,
one?
We did sell, yeah.
I believe did we sell it to Owens? Is that right?
We did sell one, yep. One went to Owens and then one went to a private gov deal. so.
Brandon, can you talk about the 3 squads and like the rotation and all that? Do you
Sure,
take 2
yeah.
out to a scene or?
So we rotate, the first out ambulance every month, we try to rotate so we can spread out the wear and tear on the vehicles. But there are a lot of times that 2 ambulances may be out of service at any one time due to the amount of calls, our call volume's going up. So even though the fire truck may be out and the ambulance out, the other ambulance may be out. So commonly, we have at least 2 units on scene for a lot of emergencies. Does that answer your question a little bit? Okay.
And so I guess if one of the older vehicles is down, how is that affecting our mutual aid with?
Sure.
other
So
communities?
we are able to typically, at least staff, we always have 1 ambulance in service. If we have the personnel back or they can cross-staff a second unit. There are times when the 3rd unit is also staffed. There's been days when where that unit's out of service, or there's been some times we've had to call mutual aid because that 3rd unit's out, or even our 2nd unit's out. We've only had 1 ambulance in service. We've been hit with that a couple times. Not a ton, but it definitely has happened. So,
All right.
Jennifer, would you recommend, if it was a cash flow, when you figured out the cash flow was okay to doing it that way?
Well, I think we'd have to analyze what the discount is for full payment up front or partial payment, what that is. Also, what the interest rate that they're charging us. I'm assuming they're going to try and make a little cash off of us. The third option would be not finance it, and we just use a pay-as-we-go method. And actually, there's another option too. We will be issuing debt here shortly. Traditionally, $1 million wouldn't be worth issuing debt, but if we can combine that with the other debt we're issuing, that might be a possibility. And that interest rate a month ago with our proposed debt issuance was 3.27.
So, excuse me, Jennifer, I was going to ask you, so you're talking about a bond that would inclusive of that?
Yes,
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
standalone, the dollar amount wouldn't be worth the expense of issuing a bond, but since we will be coupling it with other issuances, it would make sense.
They're at 3% now?
A month ago, that was the rate from our bond
Oh.
council, 3.27, yeah.
Gonna miss that 1.78 we had, have.
So
as I mentioned, I would recommend with, next week, if we could get with our.
With the rep.
The rep, and we could really get some solid answers on something.
So Brandon, it does take about 2 years to get a truck?
Yeah, for a fire truck,
Yeah.
yeah, we're looking up to 2 years probably.
Well, that brings the cost down.
Time's been varying. I've heard, hey, yeah, we were able to get a truck out the door in 9 months, but then I've heard, hey, it's been 18 months. So it really depends on the order and what needs to be done, and so on.
And you were looking at stock unit B as your, like,
It's called a stock unit.
yeah, but as your
An option.
preference to the 3, out of the 3,
Yeah, as
Is
an
that-
option, yeah.
because that's middle line, it's 1 to 2 years.
Yeah, a demo unit's pulled right off of, you just, hey, this is what we got today, take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's hard to find those and get those, plus you may run into some issues with those.
So I guess with consideration of the rep finding out all the crunching the numbers up for that, we'll have to look at it at the next meeting.
Yeah, we're hoping to have a meeting Monday or Tuesday, I think, if that's possible.
that works for me. So
Do you have an idea of how much it'll cost to outfit it?
We'll need some equipment. I'll put that together as part of the design of the truck.
Okay.
We're still meeting with the rep on that too. That stuff would be for the next budget cycle.
Right.
But we definitely can have an idea.
Okay. So part of the capital improvement plan is obviously our 5-year forecast. So this is the fire department's 5-year forecast right now, so.
all right.
John had a question.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. estimated. So the demo units
Hey,
are.
Brandon,
Oop.
would you mind repeating the question
Oh,
just for
sure.
people online?
So he's asking more, kind of Isaiah's point, of what the differences are of a demo versus stock unit. A demo, again, is you get what you get. It's the vendor. So the truck is built, and it has the cabinetry, the layout, everything is done. And it's ready to go for anybody that wants it. You go up to the lot and basically, or the vendor would bring it, and here it is. This is how much it is. If you take it or leave it, hardly anything you can. There's some minor things you can do to it. The frustration with that is that we're very limited on. Hey, we really would have liked this versus that. We would have liked the ladder to have a different kind of rack, or the hose loads are different. And the stock unit you can't do that with, or I'm sorry, the demo unit you could not do that with. By the stock units, they're giving us a little bit of wiggle room to make some modifications. We have a lot of EMS equipment we have to carry on our fire trucks, so we wanted that room. We have some rescue tools that we're going to need to put on the fire truck. We want to make sure those cabinets are big enough, so things like that. So in order to serve the community better for the future, we think it's worth that little extra to really have something that's going to be much more sustainable. Does that help you? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I noticed some of the other communities,
Hmm?
they have got a like black truck. I noticed, yeah,
Oh, an ambulance, yes.
I noticed that other communities have treatment, you know.
Sure.
Wouldn't you think that would be when you start, I don't,
So you're talking about the chassis of an ambulance, that's your question on the differences of
Yeah.
chassis. There definitely are some differences. We have found in our community, because of the short transport times, we have a lot of hospitals close, not like St. Luke's, but we definitely have some closer ones, that the pickup truck style chassis has met our needs better and is more affordable. The cost of a commercial chassis on an ambulance puts that ambulance over $400,000. So we're trying to be mindful of that too, in what's out there. The other thing is what's available for the suppliers, if that makes sense. But there are, yeah. Well, it all depends on how you maintain them and how much they're used. That really is, yeah. But that's a good question. There is some advantages, but disadvantages too for both types of chassis. That help you out there? Yeah.
Okay. Any more questions for Chief?
No, thank you, Brandon.
No, let's look for the numbers from the rep.
Okay.
We can look at this even
Yeah.
closer.
Yeah, our choices we might have financially, Jennifer.
Yeah, we'll work together and compile that.
Awesome.
Do you have any other questions on any other items, or, I mean, just those two big ones, obviously?
I think the big ones for now, yes.
Okay, you got it, you got it. I
Cool.
understand. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much. Thank you. All right, so fire and ambulance, obviously, we're going to be doing more research on those. Okay. Next one was the Broadway and River Road paving projects. So that is coming out of streets, correct?
That is correct. It's coming out of Fund 210, which is our street maintenance and repair fund. Primary source of revenue there is gas tax. So, and that's all it can be used on is streets.
Okay. And so,
No, go ahead. I was just thanking Matt for fixing that crater at Carew in the river. There's no way to get around that. Thank you.
and so that is also currently funded, right? So that there's money in that in the streets.
Yes,
for
there's
that.
money in that fund. In fact, the estimate did come in lower than anticipated. So that should put us, our ending fund balance in that fund around 800,000, which is great because we want to begin the street pavement program again with about 800,000 every year.
Okay.
And that's, Matt, that's enough to go to the city line? I mean, to Toledo, to that,
Yes.
up to the bridge, rather.
Yeah.
Okay. And so to kind of jump down all the way down to the Arrowhead extension, which is only 160,000, why is that coming out of the B fund instead of the street fund? If that makes sense.
It was a matter of forecasting what was available.
Okay. So if that quote came in lower, can we pay for that out of street funds instead of the B fund.
It's are you looking at the Arrowhead Road 28
Yeah, yep.
intersection?
Oh, no, that's the street lighting. I was looking at, the number is 160,000. So if you
Hang on.
go down there.
Oh, I see. Yeah, that's, okay, so that's design. So ideally, we need to get into a pattern of, especially with these larger projects, we design in 1 year, and then we construct in the following year, so then we have a good idea of the actual estimate. So that's actually coming out of Fund
I didn't see it on there.
212, which is another special revenue fund. It's the permissive fund.
Okay, so I'm sorry, so 212 was what?
It's another special revenue fund. It's permissive, which receives its funding from your registration renewals and license renewals and that sort of thing.
Okay, so that's not B.
Nope, no,
Okay.
it's, nope, 212 is the
Okay,
fund.
cool, all right. All right, very cool. Okay, and then, let's see. So, streetlights, Dussel Road and Arrowhead. So I know that's been a big discussion over the last year. And so again, this is coming out of the street lighting fund, but again, this is do we let Toledo Edison do their job, or do we want to take this back over and do it our way? My thought, I obviously was not on council last year, but my thought is that we have other fish to fry. And I think we should just talk with our new Toledo Edison gent who was here last time. And
Yeah, Victor.
yes, and just let them do it and not spend, even though it sounds like there's money in the street lighting fund, I don't think we should spend that. That's my thought.
So he is not our new rep.
No.
He is the same rep.
He's new to me. Okay.
He sounded new. He sounded new.
So, okay. So are we all in agreement that we can probably strike that one? Okay. All right.
Good with that?
What was is there a proposal for how much that would be?
640,000.
And we
Yep.
have,
So we, in the street lighting.
1.64?
Yeah, in the street lighting fund, we have a beginning balance of about 1.6 million, with another 770,000 or so coming in. Our operating costs are just under 300,000 annually. So there is room in that street lighting fund for this. I don't know if Chief or Matt want to talk about that at all, the Dussel intersection.
I know specifically at Dussel and Ford, that intersection's very dark at night. There are no streetlights there currently, so it wouldn't be something as far as Edison maintaining. They were just never there when they did the intersection. I personally don't know what options there are, like if you look at Kona the Trail, on the current traffic signal poles, they've got lighting on the top. So I don't know if you just can put a topper on with them, or if it's completely new lights. There are some random intersections where it might make sense to put some lighting. I know currently, well, I can't say currently unless Edison's fixed them in the last 6 months, but on Ford, between the trail and Dussel, I bet better than half the lights don't work. So
Cool.
maybe you can go out tonight, maybe they fixed them, but I doubt it. Just know it's been that way for years.
Okay. So what about the Dussel and Arrowhead intersection? That's on here.
Dussel and Arrowhead, the intersection itself, I'm not 100% positive. I don't think they put specific lighting at that intersection, but there might be some lights on Dussel that illuminate it. I know specifically that Ford and Dussel is dark. If you get a crash there and you're out there late at night, it becomes a little bit of a safety issue with officers. Even though you got all the red and blue lights on, that sort of distracts drivers more than necessarily helps them see you.
Okay.
So, but I can definitely go out and look at some of those lights and see what intersections might make more sense. And I don't know what it takes to motivate Edison to work on the Ford Street ones, but
Well, and that was going to be, my question is, obviously, this is my first time dealing with this, but, what's the process of saying, hey, Toledo Edison, we got a safety issue here. There's not lights. How do we get that?
Oh, the girl in back.
Yeah, girl in the back.
Just quick, Russell on Arrowhead was the most hazardous intersection.
Oh, cool.
Russell and Holland is also on there. Russell is on our top 10 most dangerous.
Cool.
It's
So-
very-
The mayor's saying the Dussel and Arrowhead intersection is the most dangerous one in the city. Most dangerous or so you think crash-wise, there's the most crashes there or the most injury crashes?
There's the 11 most hazardous intersections along here. Russell and Arrowhead is number 1.
In 2024, the most crashes, Dussel and Arrowhead.
Fun.
Yeah, so, I mean, I think we can take a survey, like drive around before next meeting, but this is something I actually want to pursue for this area, because it's been talked about for the last 2 or 3 years, how dark it is at night and those intersections, and safety is a big concern, and we have the money. We're not buying our poles back or anything, we're just doing this project so that we have lighting there, down that corridor, like Madam Mayor said, that it's the 3 most dangerous, or for accidents. I don't see a problem with this one, as long as the operating budget's like 300-some thousand. Go ahead, man, I'm sorry.
So just to kind of give everyone a little bit of perspective. So if you drive down Dussel in that particular corridor, the light pole spacing is much further than what we just put on the Anthony Wayne Trail, and it's every other side.
Yep.
So think of the width of Dussel, and then think of the width of the Anthony Wayne Trail. All the lights on the trail oppose each other. So every 200 feet or so, there's a set of light poles that lights up both sides. Dussel only has one, and it's wider than the trail, and it's alternate sides, and they're further apart. So
Okay.
just to kind of give it a little perspective.
So that proposal, you said is like 600 and some thousand, that's to match both sides?
It would be, so we use the layout for the Anthony Wayne Trail to come up with the number of poles for that.
And with the economic development coming sooner in the future, having lighting down there is obviously a good thing for more traffic. So I don't,
Well, yeah, I mean, certainly, if you're going to invite more people to the area, you certainly want to make it safer.
So,
Yeah, and-
so this is
yeah.
for Dussel and Arrowhead streets, not the intersection.
No, this is Dussel Drive, so basically from Ford all the way to the
That makes a lot
expressway.
more sense. Okay.
It's the whole corridor.
Yeah, it's from-
640,000 for an intersection? Good
Sorry,
Lord.
it's from,
Okay.
it's from Ford to the overpass, right?
It might even be from Holland. I think it might go all the way back to Holland.
Okay.
But it goes from Holland all the way to the overpass.
Okay.
So it's the whole
That
corridor.
makes a lot more sense. Okay.
no, I'm saying,
So,
No,
so
I
if
like
we
it.
put
Do it.
these street lights up, would we be responsible for maintaining, or can we turn that over to Toledo Edison and say, hey, we put the poles up, now you change lights and make sure they work?
Toledo Edison will not let us install poles for them.
Cool.
So it's either we do it, maintain it like we do on the trail, or Toledo Edison installs their wooden poles.
Okay. So how much would that increase our operating budget if we do this, roughly? If we're doing 300,000 now?
I wouldn't think it would be much, honestly.
Okay.
I would have to look, though, to see what we're currently paying for.
Doesn't that get passed on to the residents?
Yes, we're generating about 770,000 annually from the assessment, and right now our operating costs are around 300,000, but I couldn't imagine it'd be more than a few $1,000s.
So we're not doubling or anything
No,
like that? Okay.
Well, remember, I think the last increase, if I'm not mistaken, was around $5 or $6.
Yeah, I think we're not looking at increasing the revenue for that streetlight fund right now. We've built up reserves in it that would be able to support this project.
No, I meant about for the actual running of the electricity.
Yes, across all parcels. That was across all parcels.
Right, okay.
Okay. With that being said, I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
See, I was gonna
Thank
make a
you very
motion.
much for that explanation. That makes a lot more sense. Okay. All right, and then Chief Spro, before you sit down, how about, let's go ahead and ask about the interceptor. What's going on with that?
Well, I can.
Yes.
So all of our current marked cruisers are, I believe, 4 years old? This one?
They're, yeah, 22s, right?
22s we got in 21.
Yeah.
So the miles are getting up, maintenance, all that fun stuff. So we're trying to get into a rotation of keeping them 4 years, so then rotating 3 every year. But as we know, we had leased all of them, so now we own all of them. So we're trying to get into that cycle.
Okay.
We purchased 2 from last year. The one just got delivered, I think, this week. So it's still at the dealership. So trying to do like 5 this year and then 5 next year to get us to our 12, and then start rotating them out from there. But you sort of got to front load a little bit, or else we're going to start getting a lot more costly expenses for maintaining, which we're already starting to see on some of them.
Okay. All right. Any questions?
Not in this one, nope.
So we're going to be buying the cars,
Correct, purchasing the cars.
done with leasing.
Correct. When Enterprise originally came in with the leasing back in 2020, 21, I don't remember what the cruisers were. The cruisers never made sense to lease but we did it as part of everything else did. The reason cruisers don't make as much sense as for the Enterprise, the way they explained it, is because the resale value of cruisers are so much lower because of all the idle time and all that. What made sense, what they explained, was all the pickup trucks and all the light-duty trucks. But we're leasing around $600 a month. They said with the equity lease, at the end of it, that rate would be cut almost in half. And then it came in that they're all going to be about the same cost or a little bit more. So some of the stuff that was brought up through the early conversations with Enterprise, and I mean, I also get that they can't predict tariffs, they can't predict all the other costs and expenses, but we definitely didn't see the reduction in the lease by anything that they originally promised.
Well, I think as presented about a year and a half ago, it was explained that we were going to have a savings at least $2.3 million, and then a closer look at it, it was increase the savings with the Enterprise leasing. So that didn't obviously come to fruition.
I don't believe.
No, that was included in my analysis is with the Enterprise lease, purchasing the cruisers and as well as the trucks. Yes, there will be a significant savings over the next couple of years, but now we're catching up because we now have to play catch up to purchase the
You
vehicles.
said there was a significant what?
There was a significant savings
Okay.
from getting away from the lease program, not just with the cruisers, but all 41 vehicles that we
Okay,
lease.
thanks. Thanks for
And
clarifying.
that largely due with the replacement cycle of the pickup trucks.
Right.
So
Okay,
the
thank you.
non-marked, at least on the police side, vehicles, we're looking at closer to 10 years before we're
Sure.
selling them off because they're traditionally much lower miles. And then the other thing that we've been fairly successful with the marked police cruisers is we're selling them on gov deals as turnkey cars, and we're doing quite well selling them. So versus doing a trade-in, I think when we're doing trade-ins, going back quite a few, because we've done gov deals for probably 6-7 years, I think we're getting maybe like $5,000-6,000 for a trade-in, and we're getting, I think, like close to $25,000 for an actual police car that you're just selling. So with these cars going 4 years, all of the upfitting, so all the lights, sirens, all of that stuff,
Sure.
have a 5-year warranty on them. So it makes more sense at 4 years to just sell it all. And then by the time they take it all off and put it on, the savings wasn't that much, and then you're out of warranty within a year.
Thank you.
All right. And then the other item was the police tasers, body cam, car cameras for $285,000. And so that's also, these are both coming out of B fund, correct?
And that's a contractual obligation. We have 2 more years left on that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 5. I will have to look at that.
Okay, so this is already agreed to contract,
Yeah.
done and done. Okay. All right, cool. All right. Any other questions for Chief Sparrow?
Nope. Thank you, Chief.
Cool, thank you.
I like Brandon's was more exciting about the fire trucks and stuff.
Yeah.
Just saying. I felt like applauding after your explanation.
All right, next biggest item is HVAC for the admin building. Who needs heating and cooling? All right, so obviously this is coming out of B fund as well. And this is long overdue from right here.
Yeah.
Yes. So a lot of our buildings are hitting that 20 to 25 year mark. The boilers in this building are original to this building.
Ooh-wee.
A lot of our buildings are starting to hit that mark all at the same time, unfortunately. So we've had nothing but problems with the HVAC in this building since I've been here. And somehow that landed in my lap. So I've been slowly trying to make repairs, but at some point, like, all those yearly repairs are just starting to catch up. So we're spending, $5,000 here, $10,000 here for replacing parts for, all the different components to the system. So we've had these quotes for a little over a year now. So it's probably going to go up a little bit, but I think it's time to replace it instead of trying to keep piecemealing it. And
Now, with that, would we kind of bundle that with whatever, when we get an RFP for that, with the police building, because their HVAC and boiling system is same?
I don't know if I would bundle them together. You could certainly propose, like, send the proposals out at the same time to see if we get more competitive bids. Sometimes you'll get, vendors that will, if you let me get both of these, I'll give you a better deal. But, it's not something that we can really control.
Right.
I mean, we can look at that option, but I don't know if it makes the most sense.
I mean, both are inevitable, so.
Right.
Thank you, Dave. So Jennifer, another big ticket project here, would that be something to look at to go within that bond request or not? Or it just comes out of
No,
our
I
operating? or
would
capital
recommend
rather?
that. I would recommend just utilizing our B fund.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right, and so we're kind of getting down into, quote, smaller stuff here. We're going on an hour, 15 minutes. I don't know how deep you guys want to go into this tonight, or,
I got till 9 o'clock. I don't know about anyone else. I'm kidding. Sorry, sir.
I heard a lot of,
all right.
I mean, we do have a meeting on Monday, or next Wednesday, so.
Right.
If at any point in time, we can still continue
Right.
from then on, yeah.
So then I guess the other question is operating budget. So obviously we've been going over capital. So operating also needs to be finalized for April, or has that already been done?
No, just the temporary operating budget has
Okay.
been passed. So yes, we would need to pass the permanent operating budget and then the capital plan, at least for '26, by March 31st.
March 31st, okay. So, on OpenGov here, both on the pretty version and our version, so is there another similar, like, the breakdown, the operating costs, and what things we need to look at for both our A and B funds and things like that?
Yeah, you should have the link for
Okay.
the permanent operating budget for the reports.
Okay. So I guess my biggest question then is when it comes to where we're at on capital operations, when it comes to our B budget. So with everything we have right here, I guess, how much do we have to make up? Like, how short are we?
So the B fund, I'm not terribly concerned about, because in terms of priorities, we have our operating and our debt, those are our priorities. And then it's my opinion, my experience, capital's the last. If we don't have the money, we don't have the money. We just don't do it, right? So the operating budget, specifically the general fund and income tax A, which we treat as one. So think of the general fund as our checking account, and then the A fund as our savings. But the A fund, which is 2/3 of our income tax collection and 1/3 into the B fund by law, it was passed in 1967 with the income tax ordinance. That's what has me really nervous is the A fund. So our expenditures are outpacing our revenue. So we have a choice of reducing expenditures, and there's a variety of ways, which I've sent you all documentation on some recommendations, or we increase revenues. That's the choice right now. And it kind of plays into the fund balance reserve policy that you discussed today. How much is too much? And we're at that point where it makes me nervous. So you can see what our estimated ending fund balance in our A fund is, just a little under 9 million. And that's not sustainable. So there's a few things that we can do. Obviously, payroll is a tremendous expense, so we can watch our overtime. And then I'm going to say something that sounds like I'm contradicting myself, but we could actually bring in additional staff to then reduce those services that we're outsourcing, like mowing, opening, closing the pool, winterizing the parks. Obviously, there's other areas we can reduce, like we talked about the facade grant. We're obligated this year for at least 3 facade grants, which is $180,000. We're already scaling back tremendously on the tree program, but that budget is still almost $300,000 because of prior obligations. So it will take a little time to get away from those things that we're already committed to.
Okay.
Yeah, with that being said, like, we're paying for stuff that was approved and appropriated the last 2-3 years. So tightening the belt a little bit this year is most likely gonna be a necessity until we get past those. I mean, otherwise, we can't have that open checkbook anymore, start and keep spending money egregiously like we were. And obviously, the policies and everything that happened with the change orders, it's tightened so that we're not doing that, making those mistakes again, so, yeah.
Yeah, and I just think we need to be mindful too, when we're hiring, we don't need to hire at top step. It doesn't give anyone anywhere to go. We're pursuing a wage study, so I think that will help too. And right-sizing our staffing and filling in those gaps where it makes sense with administrative support rather than 6-figure supervisors. I think that'll help too. We talked about some seasonal help, at obviously a lower wage for part-time this summer that would help with mowing.
Do you have budgeted for the, when the new administrator gets hired, do you have that budgeted?
I do, yes, and I've adjusted it when I presented the payroll budget in the fall. That was for a full year worth of wages in '26, so I have adjusted it down to the number of pays and that we have left. So right now. So.
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Yeah, I spoke to Jennifer regarding the ideas she has about bringing out the outsourcing, bringing it in-house. And I was concerned about retirement, OPERS, insurance and such, but she said we will still be ahead of the ball. And it's probably going to be a good difference, a good percentage difference. And
Yeah, I provided some examples. Councilman Sun had inquired what we're paying for mowing. What we paid for mowing last year was around $500,000. So we isolated per area what that was, and I gave an example of taking back the mowing for Walcott and the cemetery, what we paid, and then what we could potentially pay staff to absorb that. But yes, when I talk about the payroll budget, that is the entire cost for, PERS, for the retirement system, Medicare, insurance if they're eligible, life insurance, payouts, uniforms, all that.
And one thing I want to clarify, you keep hearing about change orders being mistakes. Change orders are not mistakes. Change orders are when you're in the field, in your middle of a project, and eureka, you found something buried, you found something you didn't see. It's part of commercial, and if anybody's even built a house or a garage, something, a simple project, all of a sudden, oh, I didn't see this, or I didn't know about this. It's unplanned because it's something you don't find until you're in the middle of the job. So I just want to clarify that. Thank you. Thanks, Jennifer, for that insight, too.
And I'll add for the mowing, saving the money and appropriating certain areas that we do mowing at, if we do that. We, then the service directors and they can handle on how well the job is done from there on, instead of just when you get a contractor, and we had problems in the past with whatever, a couple parks that were being mowed to standards, so that is controllable, so we're getting a best bang for our buck once we insource that instead of outsourcing it.
Yeah, there's certainly some ownership to that.
Yeah, yeah. And then also, bringing back for summer laborers for creating a program, or in the future, I don't know when we can do that, probably for building land and park, I don't know.
Yeah, that would
Yeah,
be
and
the program.
hiring seasonal could serve as a feeder to, full-time labor, full-time operator. Like I said, giving new hires a path to advancement, it can start just with a seasonal employee.
So for the wage study, I'm assuming we're not going to get that done before our budget's due, correct?
No,
I didn't think.
We'll be lucky if we get it before next year,
Right, exactly,
honestly.
okay. So,
Yeah.
What part of that, Dave? I missed what you said.
so we're looking at doing a wage study?
Oh, right.
So,
Thanks.
yes. So, all right, so tonight, we've basically taken every line item down to 150,000, okay? So I guess I would propose, let's go ahead, look at everything from 150 down. Let's ask department heads any questions, concerns we have. I mean, that's, again, not saying it's, pennies on the dollar, but there's still a lot of little things that we can ask about that aren't sewers and things like that. I mean, obviously, we haven't, anything that came up with the sewer, we're not even talking about. It's like, yeah, obviously, that we're doing that. But I'm thinking for our next finance meeting, let's definitely dive into operations, okay? So let's look at those budgets, and let's bring forward things that we think we could possibly change, delete, amend, so on and so forth.
Sure.
And then, I think it was a few weeks ago, you sent us like recommendations in an email, I believe. Okay. Was that for just operations? Was that for everything? I can pull it up, but,
I focused on operations, yes.
okay, all right.
Yep.
So let's make sure we review that. Let's ask any questions next Wednesday. And so time-wise, Gabe, are we good? Are you good with 3:30 next Wednesday?
Yeah.
Are you still okay with that?
Sure.
Okay. All right. So,
Thank you,
and-
Dave.
yeah. So anything else we want to address tonight?
I think we're good till the next meeting, yeah, until we get numbers back for, a lot of stuff, get more information. And then I keep on forgetting, is what, March 31st, is that what?
Yes, March
Yeah.
31st, yes.
So we'll have another meeting after that, or as needed, until
Right.
we get this, because this is very important to get this down.
Right.
And where it needs to be, so that it is, because legally we have to have it in by the next month.
Yes, that's correct, yep. And I'll continue to build the capital program, and you just have to click on the link that I sent you.
Okay. So we have a council meeting coming up this week, which would be the second reading. And then we'll have our next finance meeting. Second council meeting of March. If we don't have this straightened out, we could still call a special meeting just for the purpose of finalizing the
Yeah.
budget. So we don't have to have this done by the third week of March. Hopefully we do, but
But,
If
yeah,
not, we'll-
meetings as needed,
yeah.
yeah.
So, all right. Well, if I can get a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn to the next scheduled meeting.
I'll second that.
All right, let's call the roll. Barrow.
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Yes.
Papelmeyer, yes. All right.